Hey guys, welcome to the MC Anime Podcast. We cover anime, geek culture, Japanese aesthetics, and Asian studies. We are a multi-fandom podcast, and you can expect to hear topics in your favorite hobby or fandom activity potentially. You can find MC Anime on Google Podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Also, please check out mcanimepodcast.com, our website. Furthermore, stay tuned in for another episode.
Welcome to another episode of MC Anime. MC here, and Leah's back with us today. How's it going, Leah?
It's going pretty well. I will say that much. Should we tell the listeners how many times we've tried to record this episode in particular?
Yeah, that's been interesting in recording it. This is the third attempt.
This is our third attempt.
Here we are, ready to
it's fine.
Look at it and solve any technical problems that come our way and face it head on and be ready to talk about how things can possibly go in our favor, just like a team can go in someone's favor.
The teams can go in people's favors. Yes. So
yeah,
let's get into
today's episode is going to be the sports fandom and how it entertains. So when you think of sports, what do you think of?
I guess all the classics. I think of soccer or football in other countries. I think of American football, baseball, ultimate frisbee, basketball, hockey, competitive skiing, and whatever's at the Olympics for winter and summer Olympics. Yeah, that's what I think of sports. I think of all the greats.
True. When I usually think of the sports, I see like the different type of activities, the diversity, the different games you can play, the different competitive players out there achieving the goals of being the best they can when they can do it. All the 9 yards, plus just overall energy you feel from enjoying a sport, especially if you like that particular sport or activity that they're doing in the game.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think the greatest thing probably when it comes to sports is that you can either just be a spectator or you can be actively a part of it, and both are just as enjoyable. And they kind of lend to different memories and different feelings for them, but they're all positive if you really get to be with the right people.
True. I mean, I think when you think about it, you participate in the sport as the audience. That's the main way people mostly enjoy it. You can also enjoy sports recreational and play for pro. So there's different levels in which you can drive your passion for the sport and still support it.
Oh, absolutely. I think I mean when it comes to even just sports fans in general, I think sports culture overall is something that's felt worldwide. We've had it in history, like since the beginning of man being able to cooperate and find ways to pass the time. But having fans, having that energy that's ongoing, is really the thing that makes sports as good as they are. Even if you're just playing with friends, like if you have friends who decide to sit out a game and they watch and they cheer you on, that is so much more fun than just playing the game by yourself.
Oh yeah, and another thing about sports in particular I take notice of, let's say you quit the sport like 15 years ago, and then 15 years later you come back to watch it. Well, you haven't really missed much because guess what? The same game is still being played out. It's just different people playing it. So instead of missing like 15 years of vital information, you can easily maybe reread stats and players that you used to keep up with, or a new team to refresh yourself to keep going. It's not like a episode type TV show where if you missed a bunch, you have to go back and rewatch it.
Oh no. I mean, I will say that I think the best way that I've seen someone who isn't a big like a sports head, they don't follow every game or they don't follow a specific team. I saw someone's comment online that was like, I want to watch basketball games, but like, can someone tell me where to start in the lore? Like the lore of the game. Like there's so many players, there's so many teams, there's so much history, and just hearing people passionate who talk about it, so many things can change. Or they'll be comparing players from different decades and different over different spans of time, even for just one team. And it can be overwhelming. It can feel like a lot. But it's also, I think, something that you can easily jump into and be honest that you don't know something, because that's the easiest way to get someone to really just like expound upon any detail that you're looking for. You find the right sports fans on a good Sunday or like Monday night, whenever hockey's played, like they'll tell you without hesitation.
True. Well, also with that lore suggestion you suggested, I really think it's not really of the timeline that you jump in. You can immerse yourself in other decades through other means and longer periods of time. Sports is one of those things you can come in, come out as you go, and still feel like you're connected to the interests.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it's also fun to kind of look into also sports that maybe you aren't so a part of or you have that much history on. Like for instance, for me, I don't know much about soccer or like European football or whatever. Or I don't know much about it. I don't know the teams. I don't know any of the players. I know some of the players. I've seen Bend It Like Beckham or whatever that movie's called. So I know like just enough to be like, that's that sport. But if you listen to people talk about it, you'll actually learn a lot, and it can help you kind of get into it as well. Also, certain shows may feature sports heavily in them, and I've seen people get into them for that reason as well.
True. And also, I think with sports in general, you have different sense of wide range of selection, so you can choose which one you want and see which one motivates you more in that particular interest. So you get like a really fresh feeling in how you integrate it in that sphere.
Well, I mean, yes. I think if we're talking about like from the fans' perspective, and the enjoyment of that, yes, you can get a very fresh feel. But I also think, just like with any big like media consumption, entertainment aspect for society, if you have the wrong type of fans, if the fans like of that group seem like jerks or a bit much, or you just don't want to be associated maybe with a bad team or a sport that isn't that popular, I've also seen people just be against that. Like that will turn them away as well. So I think it also involves just having an open mind, especially if you live somewhere where like maybe your sports team isn't that great. Like you might just have loyalty because you live there, but I've seen it on both sides where people can get interested because they don't know anything, and regardless of what the fans do, they kind of hop in. And I've also seen people kind of say, nah, not this. I don't want to deal with that. If they find out that the fans aren't that great, or maybe like, information about the team isn't that great, their history isn't that great, stuff like that.
True. And I really do think an important point to bring up about sports fandom and how it entertains is the achievement goals. You feel the victory and the loss of the team when you're like closely motivated to the team. like you feel it, you have every emotion in the game as if the players are actually doing that emotion as well. I guess, people they get really seriously and they are achievement driven. They feel what the team feels at times and all this other stuff.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I played sports when I was in school, but even when you don't, I'm saying, like, you can go and literally watch a sports game and you can see the energy in the room, and it does even get to you. Like, I've been out before and seen like my home team up on the TV, and even though I had no intention of watching the game or really paying attention to it, seeing them play, and then you see the people in their jerseys, people are excited, you get excited. Like, you're like, oh yeah, we're doing great. Like, we're awesome. Like, we're amazing. And then when you lose, you're like, that's not a great feeling. Or you don't want to talk about it so much when you lose. But that's all a part of it. It's the highs and the lows. That's what makes it so, I think, addictive and competitive at the same time.
True. I also agree with the competitive nature, because when you go into the game, have the people play, the rivalry of different teams in different divisions or different, areas kind of motivates you as well. Because I vividly remember the rivalry of my division, the Washington team, Eagles, Cowboys, and Giants in my division, and and like Super Bowl and stuff. NFL.
Oh yeah, for the NFL, like, because I'm in Florida, so when the Bucs were like, what was it, 2020, they went all the way to the Super Bowl. We had just gotten Tom Brady, so like, first off, people were mad excited. We were like, we spent so much money on Tom Brady, so much money, and we said, bet, finally. It had been like 20 years anyway since we won a freaking Super Bowl, like 16, 17 years. So I remember, beforehand, I hadn't really watched the games, hadn't really gone to the stadium and stuff. Me and my friends all had a watch party because we were so close to where the arena's at and the stadium's at. But people flew in. Like, I've never seen the area get so wild and crazy at one time. I was like, dang, Tampa Bay is popping right now. Everybody's here. And we won. And that was great. We were talking so much trash. And we know zero about like intense actual football. We don't know stats. We didn't know all the players' names. We were just like, yeah, Gronk, Brady, those are our boys. That was all we had. But it was exciting. And then we watched the commercials, of course.
Okay. Oh yeah, even though I am a dead fan with the Washington football team, not the Redskins, unfortunately. I knew them as Redskins. I have an appreciation for the game. I grew up watching the game, going to football games, and that was like my main sport I had access to, even though I wasn't a big fan of the game. I don't know, I just think it's weird how you can appreciate the game, but still like say, well, I'm not a big fan of watching it, like actively watching it, but I could still watch bits and pieces and not feel too bad.
I
you
mean,
don't have that?
I can't say completely that I've had that, only because when I start watching a game, if I'm watching it and I get kind of invested in it and I'm having a good time, I do kind of want to see how it ends. It's not as fun to me to like go back and watch the highlights for it. I'd rather just watch the game, like I'd rather just be able to see the game all the way through. Because I'm also just not someone who's going to go back and see unless I'm wondering if we won. But if I don't know who the teams are, then it's not that big of a deal.
True. I mean, I understand with that logic, because the overall saying is you enjoy the game for what the game represents. The game brings positive emotions when you watch it, or the time investment is really key when you do it.
Mm-hmm.
So what's like some of your memories with what's fandom and entertaining you?
It would probably have to be, I mean, I really only watched football, especially like with my dad. So it was mainly football. And again, like the Bucks have spent so much time not being good that you're watching them and you're just like, God, let it go. They're never going to get that Super Bowl again. But again, he lives here. He loves the team. So watching the games with him was like a normal thing. Even watching the Super Bowl and having family over. We weren't there. we weren't out there, but it would still be fun to do. So I think that's probably the most vivid memory that I can say, especially with growing up. And then I also played sports when I was in school the whole way through. So playing on a team and then, having my family and friends there at the games was also pretty cool. Being close with the coach because he was like the uncle of my best friend and cousin. So like I played quarterback for our flag football team in high school. I was very aggressive. I constantly got flagged, which is not great if you are the quarterback. Like they need you, and I was just like, eh. So yeah, those are my memories.
True. I one recreational thing I did in school throughout elementary, middle, and high school, the thing I'll be playing would be flag football, and I was not necessarily. I guess you could say I was rough. I would just charge at people, take it more seriously. This is also when I got into high school. Maybe got stitches because of it. Went full head to the bleachers. Went to my ground.
That seems like much. Okay, I never had that. Like, granted, no, I'll take that back. We played one aggressive team in high school. It was like my junior year, and mind you, everybody who was on my flag football team are also, half of them were like girls who tried out during basketball season to be cheerleaders. So we're not that big. And the other team, like every other team we played, was about girls our size, kind of petite, like small to middle size, like that's it. And then we went up against literally just a line of linebackers from this one high school who was very good, but that's because all of their girls were like, they looked like they were seniors or college students. They were so strong, and they also played aggressively. So they would shoulder check you, and I remember getting hit one time and nearly being flipped. And I like landed on my hand, so I almost broke my finger. But all that did was inspire me to be petty and keep playing the game. And I could barely throw with my right hand, so I switched to my left. And we did lose that game. This was not an anime moment. We didn't fight through and the power of friendship came through. No, we lost. They beat the crap out of all of us violently, and the refs were their team. So they were just like, we saw nothing. But that's the closest I've ever been to a full-blown injury. And then I couldn't use my finger for like 2 weeks. But it was fine. These things happen. But not bleachers. Bleachers? Bleachers? Did you?
What, you ran to the bleachers?
No, I'm saying you. You said you got stitches.
Oh, yeah.
How did you end up in the bleachers? Yeah, don't put your story on me.
And okay, so I would literally not let him budge, and I think I got really aggressive, and he was like really mad, and he just tried to go right through me. Well, he busted his lip on my chin, I believe. No, Yeah, his chin hit up, so it hit my lip. Then his teeth hit my head, and then the side of my head hit the bleachers. So like I had jaw marks from his teeth hitting my top of my forehead, and then my entire side hitting the bleachers.
Oh my. Okay. Okay, and also, again, I want everyone to remember we are talking flag football, which, if funny enough, I feel like more people get hurt in flag football than actual regular football, like JV or varsity in high school or in like middle school or whatever. Because it's just like at that point, you might as well hit them. You get so close to people, you might you want to tackle them. You might as well hit them rather than just like swiping at their little tassels on their waist. It's so silly. It's so dumb.
Yeah.
Look.
Another thing about football, or I guess sports fandoms in general, is you get the group of people to either watch or meet up, whatever, either playing the game or watching the game, and you have a social interaction. The team, you're already socially integrating together in the game because you're playing the game against another team. But also watching the game, you organize the meetup to actually have people come to your house, public venue, Buffalo Wild Wings to watch whatever pay-per-view or sport game going on. So that's also another thing. Going to an actual game sometimes can be a social activity too, because you're going with friends. It all depends on how you want to do it.
And I think, I would have to say though, I think probably my favorite thing is getting everyone together for the game. If they actually, if you get everyone there, they show up and you guys get to all watch together, that's a lot of fun. That's a lot of fun.
True. I vividly remember the college games that I went to. I think it was Virginia Tech, or what's the other one? One of them was Virginia Tech, Virginia Cavaliers, and I would actively go to those games a lot, and we will be in the parking lot in the college, and it was a really good time. I spent a lot of time with the family, so most of my physical games was the family, and then that's how I enjoyed it.
I mean, that sounds pretty. Yeah, that sounds like how it should be. Tailgating is, I think, a lot of fun. I really do. Yeah, I like tailgating. Especially when I was in college, tailgating before a college game is so much fun. So much fun. Most people don't even see the game. First off, let's start there. Most people don't even see the game. Because by the time the game starts, people have been drinking and hanging out and partying, and you've been in the sun. So I will say that I think tailgating is probably my favorite part of sports. I would say sports cultures and fandoms. When you're not playing and you're just hanging out, those are really good.
I think the social interaction that games brings to I think connects people better. It actually it literally makes you have a reason to enjoy the game more. I think that's the main thing that people usually want, is to do the sport activity or spectate it with other people. That's just human interaction.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day.
No, that's the whole point. The connectivity of it all and the bonding with other people is what makes sports so good. Yeah. That's the thing. That's what I'm saying. You can watch sports alone. You can also, they have video games from Madden and whatnot. So you can play sports.
Mm-hmm.
You can play 2K and all that, and maybe enjoy it by yourself. But having people to play with, playing with people online, going to games with other people or watching them together, it's the communal feel that really is the point of it. You know,
Oh
having a team with that many people on there, and you're just sitting at home by yourself, you do lose a bit of that momentum. It doesn't mean that it's not happening, but if you say if you invited friends over and then they can't make it for whatever reason, watching the game isn't going to be the same as if they were there.
True. I do agree with that one. Because overall, you get different feels and different perspectives. And when you enjoy the game from a community perspective, it really opens the floodgate for what the game is. How did the game give you satisfaction, and how does it drive you to like the game? It kind of tests those boundaries and opens it up.
Yeah, I think that that's the important part of it. I don't think that it's great if you I won't say that you can't enjoy sports alone. You absolutely can. But I do think it's better if you're able to have other people there with you. Rather than just be you by yourself.
You know, the one thing I pick up about anime is like a lot of times people enjoy anime by themselves, so it's really rare to enjoy with other people. So, a lot of people enjoy anime by themselves a lot more than sports necessarily.
I mean, yeah, I think more people will probably watch anime by themselves, but also at the same time, I think that also people are usually a part of like a group chat, or they have someone else that they're specifically watching with. So a lot of times, even if you watch it alone, there's still a communal feel because you're still going to message your friends. You're still going to message your online friends and be like, I just watched the episode. Especially if you were your last one and people are waiting for you to watch it. And they're like, you need to watch this episode so we can talk about it. I'm that person. I am always late. And so, like, the amount of times I feel that about needing to catch up to an episode so everyone can talk about it is it's criminal. So that's my beat. But yeah, I think even with anime, especially sports anime, people may watch it alone, but they'll more than likely talk about it with other people. Because you want that hype. You want to talk about it. You're like, did you see our boy? And then people are like, I saw our boy. Like, it's great. It's so much fun.
Oh yeah. And you know, with another aspect of sports, particularly, is where they play these sports, the sports arenas. Because the culture of the sports arena is interesting. It's the place where they play. It creates excitement. You're with thousands of other people, depending on which venue you have, to be at that game. You are an active participant in the spectator audience, watching the game, buying tickets, and all this other stuff for the promotion of the people playing, or the like tennis, the singles match, and just keep watching it all day long. The tournament, that's another big one. So what are your thoughts about the atmosphere of the sports arenas?
I will have to say it's nothing that can be recreated by just watching. That's one thing that unfortunately, even if you were to, like, this is the thing, it's like, for instance, if you were to have like a robot, you're trying to teach it what humans are like and like human culture and all of that. It's very hard to explain the energy, the feeling, the vibrancy that happens within a stadium and with fans, and not just the fans who are wearing the same jersey as you, because at a lot of games, you'll have plenty of fans who are sitting together with each other. Of course, you'll have fans that are on opposite sides, especially for like the big games, like the Super Bowls and the playoffs and all of that. But it's an energy that's really electric, and it's like ever heaving. So it's also ever growing, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. So yeah, I absolutely love like actually going and being in the stadium. I'll do that for baseball games. Like there's nothing you can eat hot dogs and drink a beer, or drink a Coke or something while watching a baseball game at home, or maybe like at a city park or something on a big jumbotron or whatever. But being actually there, completely different and so much fun. It's like fans are excited, people are yelling, people are updating each other. You got the popcorn guy coming through, cotton candy people, loud children, wins, losses, bad calls. It's all of it. Oh yeah. And I don't even know the name of the people. So I just be there vibing. I'm like, ooh, he slid. Is he safe? It's like that's it. Yeah. Like I'm just having a good time. Yeah.
And also, I think another aspect of the sports arena that really drives me, you have the announcer. The announcers are like in between the tension of what's going on, the different guest speakers, and like just talking with the game from a hosting or MC point of view. It kind of brings into light their perspective, their knowledge of the game. It provides a boundary where you have more than just the game. You also have the rendition before the game, the post game, everything in between, being the entire entertainment that sports brings.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a entire like as we've said, it's like there's a whole culture and like fandom energy and atmosphere that exists for sports, and especially for the in-person games. That I mean, regardless of if you want to actually be there in the stadium or you want to watch at home, all of them it's all good. It's all good. I will say that there are people out there who don't like sports, and there's nothing wrong with that. You cannot like sports. That's totally fine. There's people out there who absolutely hate it. Some people just hate it though because their partners really liked it and are excited about it. That's weird. I don't like that. But outside of that, if you're really into something or you're really excited and you want to share it with others, like I think sports is a great way to do that. It just kind of gives you all you need. You get community, you get fun, yeah.
Yeah, it gives the narrative that what does sports mean to you? How do you reflect your passion for the game? Is your passion something that you personally identify that this is what you do and this is how you do it? Kind of perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And it gives. I think one thing about sports that I have not noticed until right now is the empowerment of you continuously watching it. Like, doesn't matter you're watching the same game over and over and over. The independent variables that change along with the game keeps your interest alive. And people just watching it just to watch. It's mind-boggling, really.
I mean, I don't think so. I mean, how many times have you rewatched like your favorite movie or your favorite show? It's something that's really nice and really enjoyable about doing that, and being able to engage with people. Yeah, I don't, and also like there's older, like, there's dads and older adults who absolutely love to rewatch games. They love to like revisit things and have those moments with them. And like I've seen dads sit around together and literally just watch a game that they've already seen before and talk about how exciting it was when it happened, and they tell you like you had to be there, you don't know nothing about this, and I'm like, you are right. The game is from 1976. Wasn't even a thought. I wasn't even an idea when this game happened. But that's what makes it great. The energy can still be timeless, especially if you're a fan.
True. You know, I think from the perspective that each game in a nutshell is totally different how it plays out. You know, team versus team, tactics versus tactics, and how coaches, or even coaches to single players, affect the morale and the energy that you feel when you feel it. Because one thing, a lot of times, with at least with competitive sports, even the single person events, is you imagine either it's a person, pairs, or a team of people, and you're trying to outwit them in that particular sport and get the match point or the victory in the total all achievement goals.
Mm-hmm.
So it feels like individual energy of the player or players playing really bring out what the manual and the handbook says about that particular game.
Yeah. I mean, I will say that I don't know the rules for all games. So I think that's my only thing, though, is that since I don't really know the rules for a lot of the games, sometimes I don't feel like they're that important. I know they are. I know that you're supposed to do certain stuff, or like you have to play by a certain way. But I will say that sometimes I'm just like, this seems like less fun doing it this way. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess we have to play by the rules. But I sometimes I will be on the side of people who are like, bend it. Bend it. Just a little bit.
True. Yeah, I mean, American football, I might have knowledge of it, but I like boxing, basketball, field hockey more so than, even table tennis, ping pong. I could watch table tennis for days. Just something about it just makes it appealing to me.
Table tennis is, I would say, not my thing.
You'll have a thing like you'll probably like freestyle dance is what we call, right?
Also no.
Oh, okay. I feel hurt about that one.
Also no, like not at all. not at all. I mean, I know, like if I'm watching the Olympics or something, I'm actually like completely aware that they have like they'll have the freestyle part where they do dances and also do their tumbles and their flips and everything like that. Like Simone Biles always kills it. She's really good at her stuff. I'll watch those, but I won't watch the like ribbon dancer people or anything like that. No, it's not my thing. I love dancing, but not like that.
And also, I feel like, different sports bring out different energies. So, what do you feel like with the intensity of the game? Do you feel like at times it's like shocking, but other times it's like not so much?
That's just normal games. that's how they normally are. Like, I don't know. I even though I'm not a huge sports fan, if I come across a clip where someone's like, it's either like one of my favorites is catching what players are saying on the sidelines during games, especially during football, like when they take their helmets off. There was just who did the Bucks just play? I can't think of the team. But one of the dudes took his helmet off and he was just like, what do you want me to do? It's Tom Brady. Like, seeing something like that will make me lose it because I think that's hilarious. Because they're so riled up and it's like, it's pure, like just aggressive, like gotta get in there, gotta win energy. And they're like full Spartan mode. But then they rip off their helmets because someone's trying to ask them a normal question and they will yell about it. Or injuries. I hate to say it, like I don't want people to get injured during games. But if you hear about a really bad injury, there's been a few in basketball. I think basketball is probably the one that shows it the most. You know, like in baseball, if someone gets hit because of a bad throw or whatever, like that, it looks painful. That looks really, really painful. You know it's painful. I've been hit by a baseball. But yeah, I think in basketball, when you see someone, they go to do a jump, like in dunk or whatever, and they come down wrong, or they tear their ACL or break their leg or something. I think often than not in basketball, you can see how bad it is, and those are those things. Oh snap! Yeah, those are those. Oh God! And even if you don't like the game, even if you don't like the team or sports in general. There have been so many of my friends who don't like sports, and they've seen some really bad injuries pop up on their feed, and they're like, I had to watch it. I don't even know who won. They don't even know. I don't know who won the game. I don't even wait to find out who won the game. I don't even bother to look that up. But I love shocker moments, like amazing plays when people could like get out of a tight situation and just take off. If they're a running back or they're playing in soccer, they do an amazing kick. Ooh, or the one where the goalie thinks that they stopped the ball from going in and it bounces back and rolls in and they're busy like celebrating. Nothing makes my soul like warm. Again, if I ever had superpowers, I would be a villain because I cackle too much at like you thought like I don't nothing against these people, and I'm just like that hurts, and then you just continue on. So yeah, I love those moments.
Yeah.
And
one aspect I really like seeing is like sports clubs, recreational sport activities. I think that really renews the passion of people, you know, playing with other people of like-minded interests, doing the game, and being able to be part of something in that division. I think that, you know, getting an entire organization together is good as well.
Yeah, I mean, I would say probably. I don't know. I haven't, like, there's like the YMCA's, and I haven't been to those in a while. I think those are really great also just to keep the community active and give people a place to, like, come together and play those games. Like, you want your city to have, like, basketball courts and parks and, like, open fields so people can play these sports. I do think that's really nice. I think communal centers or community centers are probably especially best for really young kids. So they have like playgrounds and a building so they can go to the bathroom and all that. And then also older folks, so that way they have machines there for them to do simple workouts, or if they want to do a game or something and sit down and watch, they have space to do so. Parks are a little bit more open space, and for people who I think are like, you know, young adults, middle age or whatever, they have a bit more energy to do stuff and like freedom to move around and worry about it. But community centers are dope. I haven't been to one in forever.
True. If I found a recreational kickball team, I'm absolutely joining because I love kickball with a passion. I don't know, something about getting that ball pitched to you and then you kick it and then try to run as fast as you can on the bases before they get you out is just intensifying.
Yeah, I'm not. I that would not be me. That would not be me. Yeah, you can't play
recreational basketball.
No, No, I wouldn't do. I'm not. No, it's not even that. I am not a team sport person. like for recreation anymore. I did it so much as a kid and all the way up until I was about like 20. So it's been like a few years of quiet and peace. And I don't know if I'm ready to go back. Like really when I started at my company like years ago, they have like a soccer team and they play against like other companies. And I remember one of the guys being really excited and he was like, join us. You look like you can run fast. And I was like, I can, but no. And it was after work too. You want me to work all day and then change clothes and come back and see work people again? But in the sun? Absolutely not. It's not who I am anymore.
It seems
I'm
like
I'm
fun to be on a soccer team and what you
abs-
enjoy. You
absolutely
should
not.
probably join one these days.
Absolutely,
What is
I definitely can, but I
If it's
I
close to
refuse.
recreational that you don't have to pay and just, do it once in a while. You could be a backup player and, do stuff like that.
No, I'm rooting on her downfall. Don't ask me anymore. No, absolutely not.
Okay,
Absolutely
are you going
not.
to watch them play at least?
Well, no, I haven't been to watch them play. But he did ask me for like 2 months every morning, like as I'm trying to get my coffee, and I was like, Zulu, I'm not playing soccer. I don't think you understand. I'm wearing slacks because they're required in the workplace. When I get home, I'm not going back outside. First off, it's Florida heat. And this man was asking in like June, in the peak of the heat season. He was like, you want to go run in the sun? I was like a dog? Like, no. I'm not a Boston Terrier. I don't have all that energy just all day long. Absolutely not.
At least
Again,
I won't play the game, but at least I can. Okay, fine. I'll watch a game. So you could have said that. I'll watch one game to please you.
Okay, again, this is not an anime because that's exactly how all animes go. Like the person just comes and watches, and they're standing there with their like backpack slung over one shoulder, and then they like, hey, join us. We're one player short, and it's like, oh no, we're just here to watch. They're like, oh come on, it's just one game, and before you know it, they're in the opening title. They're in the
You think
opening
that's
and
gonna happen to you? That you're gonna start liking the game because you come to one game to watch?
Exactly. It sounds disgusting. It sounds terrible.
God!
I have my preferences, and I refuse to be like power of friendship into a team sport. And it technically this is like the best time for me to do it too, because I have like most people do it because they have like family and kids and like pets and all this other stuff, and it's like their free time, and I have none of that, so I'm just over here like, wow, I actually could probably dedicate the most time to no. Absolutely not. I'm out. But I'll root for them. I might go. They're not starting up like another. They're not going to start like up until after it cools back down. It's still ungodly hot. It just hit 85. We just got to 85, and that took a tropical storm coming by. So
companies are in the league. Like, do they have like their own personal league, or is it just like recreational fun?
No, they have their own league. It's literally business professional people, like people in finance and banking and consulting and all of that. And then they're all from different companies, and they just get together and go to a park and play together, and they have fun. And I think they have shirts.
So interesting.
I was outdone. I was like, first off, there's free snacks in the cafeteria. I don't understand why I would want to go and play sports. Like I have everything I need inside the building. And you want me to go outside? Yeah. But it's fine.
You played flag football for years, and you don't want to. You played flag football recreational, but you won't even go to see a soccer game.
No. I played flag football at a site. I tried to get on the regular football team, but the coach and the principal told me I wasn't allowed to because I would have been the only girl. And they were like, no. And I was like, okay, whatever, fine. So I did flag football. and I did that just so we could win games, and we did. We won a game, and I was satisfied. That's all I wanted. I just want the gold. I want the victory and no L's, which was ironic because we only won one game in that season because our team was, again, half cheerleaders. It's a terrible life.
I think one motivation of sports fandom is the passion to play it. If you're like Leah and don't have the passion for flag football and actually try to do football but had to do like a cop out, I guess, you had that as a way. But pursue the sport
football
you
team
want
is the
to
only
do.
team for the girls.
I mean, true. We could have done Powerpuff at least.
We don't have that. I live in a tropical state. What is Powerpuff? What is Powerpuff? Is that for people with seasons?
That was a clip of the football.
No, we don't. First off, I've never heard of that, so I feel like that's for somebody who has like a fall season. That you have snow probably where you live, and absolutely not. That's not a real thing in Florida. We have football, and then we have flag football for girls, and that's it. There was nothing else. I couldn't even if I wanted to make up a sport to play, they probably would have been like, no, we have 2 sports, and you have like 6 weeks to play. That's all you get. So. Not a cop out. I was blocked from being able to play the other one, but I still played. I was still good. We just had a lot of cheerleaders in the team, so they didn't want to get hit or touched or run. This sounds so tough.
Oh my gosh! Since you don't know what Powerpuff is,
Sounds like you just stopped saying Powerpuff Girls early, and it sounds like a fake game. I don't know what it is. It sounds like a fake game. Powerpuff?
Powerpuff football, games of flag football or touch football between girls from a junior and senior classes of crosstown school rival.
Yeah, that sounds like something you read in The Outsiders, or it just sounds like something from the 1950s that made sense for only that time period. And once the war was over, they never did that again. I don't know what that is.
No. They still play it to this day. It's still a modern good. It's a way to do fundraising for like a charity, the senior class, or do a dance. They get funding through it. It's a way to get additional funding for a project.
It's 2 criminal activities. Don't do these fake sports.
Whatever.
Just go out there.
So
crimes, guys. Don't do fake activities. Liam.
Anyway, as I defend my passion for the game, I would, I would defend my kickball passion with a T, because kicking that ball, you go as fast as you can and try not to get out. 3 outs, you're out, and you switch teams. That's good. He'll defend football or maybe soccer if she ever wanted to play it, but that's on her.
That's on me.
So, but as we have sports fandom and how it entertains, I think one area to really look at, especially like big division games, sports can be a hobby that can be really expensive depending on the popularity of the game and the division you play in and which league, especially if it's the official league. It's not a spin-off version of another league. You get really invested into it.
Oh, absolutely. I think the best one where I would say I can't believe how much people spend on it, but it's still an actual sport, is bowling. Pro bowling? Oh my god. You get customized like bowling balls. They have the gloves, they have their own powders that they use for their hands. Their shoes, they get custom shoes. I got a buddy who does it. He has his own league. He's one of the best in the area. And I'm just like, I can't believe that you're the guy who only drank Mountain Dew for 4 years in high school. and now you're out here bowling triple digits every week, killing it. But so much money goes into it.
So what's his PR? What's his personal?
I don't know. I have no idea. I went with him once. They have weekly trainings where like him and the guys in his league get together and they train together. It's like on Thursdays or whatever. And I went once. 130s, 50s. I don't know. I have no idea. But it was only strikes. I think he got one spare, but he did nothing but strikes for like 3 games, or whatever that adds up to. And then on the third one, he got one spare. And I've never seen anyone get shamed for a spare. Like, this man went all rounds killing it and got one spare towards the end. And I've never seen people be like, shame.
Bowling is 12 to 13 rounds. So what? Did he get like 3 strikes in a row? So he got the turkey, and then the 4th strike was a spare?
Yeah, I guess it was like he got to, I don't know, like round 7 or 8, I think it was. It was close. It wasn't the one at the very end or right before. It was like 3 or 4 rounds before then, and he rolled it, and I think he literally got, I think he hit all but 2 or 1, and then he rolled it again and he was 5. Yeah.
I caught
so he was very upset that people saw that, and I was like, wow, this is something. And they were all very excited. I was happy to sit there and know nothing about it, and Liz told me how the game goes and how competitions go. But yeah, they spent a lot of money.
Yeah, I love bowling from weed bowling, but my main source of passion is playing sports through games. No offense, I haven't done much like playing wise, so sports is like a niche area of interest for me. I don't know why, but it just happens to be like that. You're probably like, well, I want to be driven back from sports as much. I don't necessarily want to be involved as much.
Again, I'm more of a fan to watch and also antagonize either side because I have no loyalty. So like it's fine. I have a great time. You're laughing, but like even though most times that we record usually on like Mondays or whatever, if we don't or if we have to move it later in the night, they do trivia at this one spot that my friends love to go to, and I know everyone there. I know the people, I know the service people who do, like, they have their own team when they do trivia. I know multiple other groups who are there, so I will show up 10 minutes before the game and talk to all my friends, tell them I'm on your team, and then I will go sit with my actual friends who I told to meet me there and be on their team. So when the game is over, I won. I don't know. I don't care what anyone else is going through. I'm on 5 different teams by the time the game is over. And every week, the guy has to give me a prize, and he is sick of me. He's just like, this has been the 5th week in a row where he's like had to walk up and give me like 2nd or 1st place, like the prize for the team. He's like, I don't understand why they keep letting you do this. I'm like, I have no loyalty. But I tell them that I have no loyalty. And everyone says,
but no one gets loyalty because they expect you to play both sides. You're like a double agent.
I'm not even a double agent. I am an obvious traitor. If I'm sitting there with a team and they don't know the answer, I will get up and go sit with the other team. I will text them and be like, y'all figure this out? And they're like, yeah, I'll go sit with them for that answer. So it feels like, I was a part of it. I was a part of that win. Huh. And by the end of it, and mind you, I know all the video game and anime questions that he throws out there. So technically, I'm usually the person who comes in clutch because I always say, put this at the highest point. I know who this is. And then they'll be like, oh, snap, we don't. So, if anything, I at least bring in a third of the points for everybody. But I am a traitor. I have no loyalty.
I don't know you're a
Zero.
traitor. You're like what we call, when you go independent,
I'm a free
anyone can grab you. You're a free agent. Exactly. Oh, gosh. This has been a particularly interesting topic to discuss with sports and how it entertains. Is there any, closing conclusions you want to give the audience before we go?
If there is anything, I would want people to take the time and actually, there is a sport you've been seeing clips of and you think is a little interesting, or you've just never really checked out, give it a chance. And you don't have to go to a game, but maybe watch a game. If you know a friend who's into it, maybe watch it with them, and you might find a new hobby that you didn't know you had before. And again, you might end up like my co-host here and decide to maybe join a league or find a kickball crew who you can hang out with. The possibilities are endless. And so don't hold yourself back. Yeah, don't hold yourself back. Check it out. That's all. Sports are fun. And if you don't like them, there's so much more out there. Watch sports anime. I know people who hate sports, but sports anime, down. So, yeah,
exactly.
that's all.
So, whether if you're an active watcher, just a casual fan, a player, a recreational player, a pro player, just know sports have so many games and activities within the subculture of sports. Understanding the sports fandom and how you see it is very individualized. And if you do like sports anime, some that I would recommend is like Baby Step, Haikyuu, and
I was gonna say hi.
Tomorrow's Joe is another one that's really good in that category. So enjoy what sports brings to you and which game you like or which games you like, because usually it's not uncommon for people to like sports to like another sport and have a dual or a triple action sport all competitively tied in the round of trivia and everything else that goes along with it. So that's what I would say. Even though I want to enjoy kickball and Leah over here doesn't want to go back to flag football,
nope.
Be the active person in the area you choose to watch and understand sports fandom and how it entertains to you. But this concludes this particular episode of NC Anime about sports fandoms and how it entertains. Do not forget that you can check out us at Podcasts Near You, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. MCAnimePodcast.com is also available for people that want the actual website. Support us on Patreon. Become part of the MC Animator community. You have different blog posts, opinions about our podcast, sponsorships, cover art ideas, topics to discuss, poll interaction, and other stuff. So I'll see you then. Thank you so much, and enjoy, guys.
See you guys.
Bye.
This concludes another episode of MC Anime Podcast. MC Anime Podcast is available on podcast directories like Google Podcast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and YouTube. We also have our website at mcanimepodcast.com. If you want to directly support us, then follow Patreon blog MC Anime. Finally, if you want services for hire, then we're available on Fiverr for audio and video production, graphic design, idea consulting, and blog and article writing.